Hi, my name is Mary Beth Rice-Gaiser, and I'm going to be your child's Studio and Crafts 1 art teacher for this semester. So I thought I would do a little video for you just so you can kind of see what our semester is going to entail, and if you have any questions, you can always contact me. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and here we go. Okay, so I would like to show you what we have over here in our Schoology. So whether your child is with me period 3 or period 9, it's going to look pretty much identical except for have the different period numbers on it. So a couple of things. Once they go into Schoology, they have my contact information, as do you. So if you need to get in touch with me for anything, please feel free to email me. If you'd like for me to give you a phone call, I can do that. We can always video chat, or just even a phone call is absolutely fine. Whatever works best for you. Okay, next, I have the Zoom link for this particular class. So most teachers are using Zoom, and your child is going to join our Zoom or log in and join our Zoom every single day of the week. Now, whether they're here in class or working remotely, I am going to have them log in, and this is how I'm going to be taking my attendance. So it's going to be really important for them to be on time for the meeting. And if they're at home remote, they need to make sure they're mindful of their time for that, because that's how I'm going to take my attendance. Okay, so I even have the times on there, whether they're here with me in class or remote. I have the times posted right on the link. Okay, so next I also have office hours. Now for my office hours, should you or your child have a question, you don't have to wait until Wednesday afternoon to be in touch with me. Needless to say, we kind of designated Wednesday afternoons for office hours, but certainly that doesn't mean that I can't contact you whenever the need should arise. I also have for your child, it's going to be our weekly planner or agenda, and that's going to be what we're working on each day of the week. That will be updated on a weekly basis. It will be updated on or before each Monday morning before the school day actually starts. So if your child is looking to see what it is they're going to be working on, or possibly they might be absent, it'll give them an idea of what it is they should be actually doing. Now, this year, as we were doing last year, our kids are going to access all of their assignments through Schoology, and they will be posted per unit. And I have here my unit 1. I didn't actually publish anything yet, but all of our assignments for our clay or hand building are going to be specifically in that particular folder. In this case, it happens to be red. Okay, so there I will explain to them in class and remotely how they are going to be turning in each of their assignments. But again, it's going to be through Schoology this year. So if they actually create something, they'll take a photo or 2 of it, and that's what they're going to send in to me. So whether they're here in class or they're working remotely, it's going to be the same either way. I also have in my folder called Beginning of the Year Course Information. There's information on a few things. And one thing I will touch base on in a minute is going to be the art supplies, but I'm going to start with the syllabus first. I also have a video link in there that explains to them what each of the supplies that they're going to need looks like. Okay, so for our syllabus, let me just go ahead and there we are. Okay, so I would like to give you an overview of what you and your child can anticipate for this semester. This is a half-year class, so they will receive a half an art requirement for graduation. For the overview, we've broken it down into 4 main units. The first one is going to be working with clay, so it's hand building with clay. The second one is going to be working with some jewelry and adornment making. Third is going to be stained glass. And the fourth is going to be paper mache. Now for each of these units, they're going to learn some of the culture about each of the different materials and how artists work with those materials and those mediums. In the past, we have had actual quizzes or tests for each of the units. This year, we are considering replacing each unit with some sort of a visual presentation created by the students to show their learning of those concepts for each of our units. I have in here a listing of our rules and expectations, which is probably going to be very similar for most teachers this year. Most importantly, we need to maintain our proper social distancing and safety protocols, not only in the hallway, but of course in our particular classroom. Respect of teachers, peers, social distancing and safety is going to be key, as it always is, but this year we're adding in these social distancing and safety procedures, which is absolutely huge. I do ask for students to be on time, both if they're working in person and remotely. And in addition to that, there's going to be quite a bit of supplies, and it's broken down into the units. Now, I only expect for your child to bring into school, if they're a hybrid student, what they're using. It's not necessary for them to bring in anything that we're not using, nor should they, because at this point, just in the event we do go back to remote learning for a little while, they need to have those materials at home so they can access them and use them. If your child is a remote learner, I know we're working on just the rollout of how students are going to be able to get the materials such as clay and such. I mean, you're welcome to get materials for your child, but we're going to put kits together so that way they have access to the materials that they would be getting if they were here in school too. So if there's any questions about that, please don't hesitate to contact me. Again, email is always best, and I'm happy to get back to you, as quickly as I can. So attendance is key. All right, and that's going to be on a daily basis, whether they are hybrid or remote. And it's kind of a neat way of everyone being in Zoom, and you can see who the full class is, even though not everybody's going to be actually here in the building. Should your child be absent, it's going to be important for them to ensure that they see what it is they missed, whether they're working here in school or at home remotely. Both, it's absolutely huge. If the question is had, please make sure that they, are not hesitant to ask me. I'd be happy to get in touch with your child and help them make sure they're staying caught up with all of the coursework. So the weekly plans, again, are going to be posted in Schoology as well. Along with each of the assignments and units that we work with, I will also have a listing of the actual supplies that your child will need to have at their side, whether they're here in school or they're working at home remotely. So they will have that, so there's never a question as to what materials do I need for that. Okay, grading. Our grading policy is such, we have a weighted grading system in our art department. For the homework assignments or classwork that we call journals, those are the smaller pieces. Typically, it's 20% of the course grade. With the actual bigger pieces that we work with, whether it's projects or assessments, that will be 80% of the grade. Now, in order for them to figure out how they would get a final grade, they're going to take the first quarter times 2, the second quarter times 2, and then they will divide that by 4, and that's how they're going to get their actual grade for this course. For late work we have as such. Now, if your child turns work in late, they've been in school, they haven't been ill, there's going to be a 5-point reduction after the first few days, and then beyond 1 week, it turns into a 10% reduction. Now, here's the thing. If your child is really struggling and having difficulty, it's really important to have that communication, whether they talk to me or you talk to me, just so we make sure. I mean, obviously, there's always a reason why you might need to give a child a little bit of extra time, and that's what we're all about here. But they really need to try to stay caught up with their classwork so they don't feel overwhelmed. I know most kids, once they start getting behind, they just feel like it's a little hopeless and they have a real hard time getting caught back up, and I don't want to see that happen with your child. So for assessments this year, for each unit, there's going to be some sort of a final assessment that we have. Now, in the past, it's been in the form of a quiz, but at this point, we may change it up and have it be some sort of a project, whether it be a PowerPoint or something like that, that shows that they're understanding the concepts for that particular unit. So that's something that's a little bit new this year. Now, in addition to that, for the supplies, we have listed those supplies, and I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. And that is, again, is specific for each of the units. Now on this sheet, I also have my email address, mrice-gaiser@clarenceschools.org. My extension is also there, but it is easiest to contact me through my email. It's a lot easier for me to get back to you, and if you would like for me to give you a phone call, please make sure you attach your phone number so I can call you back. Now, in addition to, let's close out of this. Okay, in addition to that information, I also have here our supply list for this year. And I just wanted to show you quickly that it is broken down into each of the actual units. So just taking a look here for September, we're going to be starting out with clay. So it has a listing of the materials that will be needed for September, likewise October, November, and so on. Now I'll be posting that too in the agenda so your child knows what it is they need to bring when. But if you have any questions about anything, then by all means, just go ahead, give me a shout out, and I can get back to you and let you know what it is that they need to bring in with them. It's my pleasure to be working with your child this semester, and I'm looking forward to an exciting and very enriching course in Studio and Crafts 1. If there's anything I can do to best assist you, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much, you all, and have a great day.